you don't like where Judge is at, maybe lean towards somebody else. But if you're willing to take Judge at slightly longer odds, I don't think it's a bad play. David O'Connell, you're asks, thoughts on my parlay? Marcus Smart, 14 points. Williams, 8 points. White, 9 points. Tatum, 5 assists. Let me jot it down so we can go through it. So a lot of you are probably going to have similar questions so we can get to it. Marcus Smart, 14 points. Williams, I'm assuming that's Robert Williams III. If you could just confirm that on YouTube. By the way, make sure you're subscribing. If you're asking questions on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. That's definitely important to us. So make sure you guys subscribe. Is that Robert Williams III? White, 9 points, and Tatum, 5 assists? Once we know you've... Make sure you guys are subscribing on YouTube. It's really important for us. We'll get to that question in just a minute. I want to answer Candyman's first since Candyman's given us a gift. We'll get back to that YouTube question once they subscribe. Candyman, Brandon Bilak, the starter for the Astros. 6 strikeouts. What do we think about that? Quickly, we'll go to that. And then we'll get back to that parlay. So, strikeouts. So, I would not touch this 6. That the implied probability on that is not strong. Don't like it at all. The over 5.5's 39% implied probability. No, do not like it. The over 4.5, that's where I like it. So he's only hit the 4.5 strikeouts once. Now we do like it because he's going up against the Oakland Athletics. They're a garbage team. They're not a good team. But that said, if I were to take it to answer Candyman's question, I would take the over 4.5, and I'd take the over at minus 135. That's the better play. I like the odds. I like the likelihood. You have a better chance of hitting the 4.5. I wouldn't take it at the 5.5 or over 6. I don't like that, Candyman. 4.5 is where I'd put it. Make sure you guys are subscribing on YouTube, Instagram, and obviously on TikTok as well. Make sure you're hitting that follow button. That way you know every time we go live. We are live every single day, every single day. We've now been live for 11 days straight, I believe. So we're building up our Cal Ripken-like streak, trying to be an Iron Man or an Iron Horse or whatever the hell. So make sure you guys are following us. That way you know every time we're live, hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button. Okay, answering the question that we got in from YouTube from just a moment ago, we're going to our prop bet finder. We're going to do some of these. We're looking at Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart was the first leg of this. Marcus Smart on points. 14.5. All right, don't like it already. The over 14.5, over 14, don't like it. Bad, The implied probability was sub 50%. It hasn't cashed in 3 of the last 4 games. It hasn't cashed in... Let's see how he's done against the Heat on it. Against the Miami Heat, it's missed in 3 of the last 4 games. No, wouldn't touch it. If I were to take the over, 13.5, does that make me feel any better? No. I wouldn't touch Marcus Smart on points like this. I don't like that play. So to answer the question in from YouTube, I can immediately shut that one down, David. I don't like Marcus Smart 14 points. I immediately don't like that. I think he's going to be more of a facilitator. By the way, if he's shooting like that, it may not bode well for the Celtics in general. So I actually am not crazy about that play. I wouldn't touch Marcus Smart on 14 points. I'd lean closer to the 12. I could see him getting a couple threes, a couple shots at the free throw line, but don't like that. I'm willing to dive into a couple other of these bets, though. Looking at Robert Williams III, and we're looking at Robert Williams III on points. Looking at Robert Williams, points. The under 7.5 is the stronger play. The over 8.5, With all of these, you're on the wrong side of these. I understand that a lot of you guys are looking for parlay plays that you can all stack together. The only reason, David, that these would be worth going with is what I call narrative betting. If you believe that the Celtics are not just going to win, but they're going to dominate, this is the kind of narrative betting that I could see going and being successful. But that said, not as crazy about where we're going with this parlay so far. We're going to continue to dive into it, but I'm not as crazy about this one, given Marcus Smart really isn't hitting that 14 total with the implied probability like we'd like. Robert Williams III is, again, not hitting that implied probability like we like at 8 points. I understand you guys want to reach on some of these, but it's not, unless you believe in a certain narrative. Again, I call it narrative betting. Okay, Derek White, this is the first one that we like. Over 8.5, we're getting that 54% implied probability. We like that a little bit more. You can see it's been a bit of hit or miss. It's been a bit of hit or miss over the last 4 games. Not as crazy about it. Curious to know, by the way, one of the reasons I don't like this bet is how are the Celtics going to get Marcus Smart 14 points, Williams 8 points, and Derek White 9 points if Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown aren't scoring? So, like, I don't like the parlay that you're building, David, only because one, you're reaching on these point totals, but two, that also suggests that Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are in more of a facilitator role. I understand we're going to look at Tatum at 5 assists now, but it doesn't even line up with the narratives that I would think. It would require not just a Celtics blowout, but a Celtics blowout in which Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown aren't dominating with the ball. They're facilitating more. So it doesn't quite line up with what my thinking is. We'll continue to dive into it. And that's Jason Tatum. We're looking at assists for this one. Jason Tatum, you're looking at 5 assists, so over 4.5 has a strong implied probability. This is the only one we like so far, and yet this has a bad trend aligned with it. So, okay, at 5.5 it has a bad trend. At 6.5, at 4.5 it's good though. Tatum has failed to exceed 5.5 assists, but you can see on the trends over the last 10 games, this is a strong play. It didn't hit last game, but Jason Tatum was just bad last game. He had a number of turnovers in the fourth quarter, number of reasons for me to believe that this one actually could hit. So David, to answer your question on YouTube, I'm not crazy about Marcus Smart over 14 points. I'm not crazy about Williams over 8. I like White over 9. I could see that hitting, but the leg in your parlay that I like the most is Jason Tatum over 4.5 assists. Jason Tatum over 4.5 assists. I could see that hitting tonight. I definitely think he's going to play better. He had such a bad fourth quarter in Game 1. Expect him to play better. Not just, obviously, from a scoring standpoint. You think a lot of those turnovers, that also has to do with his ability to be a distributor. Appreciate all those who are joining us. Make sure you help us out with our live goal. Every time you guys give us the gift of confetti and help us out with our live goal, we give out one of our favorite bets of the day. And every time we hit another 2,000 like benchmark, we give out one of our favorite plays of the day. I believe that we're going to 8,000. I believe 8,000 likes is the next benchmark we have to hit to give out one of our picks. So make sure you hit that like button. Here are the picks that we've given out so far today. In case anybody was wondering how we did yesterday, did very well on our picks overall. We went 14 and 8. We also went 4 for 5 on our long ball long shots of the day. When it came to our prop bets, we went 7 and 2 on our and in our NBA player prop bets. So would like to give out more of those. Oh wow, we're already at 9.3 thousand likes. IP Shade, we owe you guys some picks. Why didn't you say something? Okay, so we've already passed 8,400 likes. So that said, let's give out another pick of the day because you guys are just crushing it. You guys are being awesome. So I want to give out another one. And let's give out. I'm going to give out my last long ball long shot of the day pick. So that way you guys can have all of my home run picks of the day. We're going to give that one out right now. And I'm going to say Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts hits left-handed pitching really well, going up against Steven Matz. Mookie Betts, and those are my 5 long ball, long shot picks of the day. You now guys have all 5 of them. Again, yesterday we gave out 5 and 4 of them hit. So hopefully we can have the same kind of percentage today. So those are all of my long ball, long shots of the day. We've given out all of those because we've hit 8,000 likes. When we hit 10,000 likes, we'll give out another one of our picks. Appreciate all of those who are joining us. Make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you hit that like button. And of course, help us out with our live goal. That's really important to us to try to hit our live goal every single show. Got a question in from YouTube. Pete Alonso to hit a home run. So Pete Alonso's been red hot of late. It's one of the reasons I'm not as crazy about him today. It's kind of like Aaron Judge. How many days in a row can I ride it? Let's take a look. What I really want to see is I want to see Pete Alonso. We looked at the Astros a little bit earlier. We like the Astros on the money line. We'd also take them. What we would do is we would put the Astros in a parlay on the money line, and we would put a unit down on them on the run line as well. So put them in a parlay, like a 2 or 3 leg parlay on the money line. So he's facing Cal Quantrill. He only has the one at bat. He got an RBI. Ballparkpal.com. Seeing how the Mets, who are the Mets playing? All right, this is one thing that doesn't give us a lot of hope. Now, the wind is blowing out to left field. That is his sweet spot, so we feel a little bit differently about this 28% probability down on home runs compared to maybe some of the other hitters. So if this were a Jose Ramirez, I wouldn't feel as good. If this is a Francisco Lindor, I might not feel as good. But the fact the ball is actually going out to left still suggests that Alonso could do okay. Let's dive into it a little bit further. We're going to prop bet 5.